Thanks to national stereotypes and the negative stigma surrounding law enforcement, the number of applicants has dropped dramatically. Even though the city of Huntington is budgeted for 108 officers, Public Works crews have been at it for 11 days straight. We're out here in the Enslow Park neighborhood, which is home to a few hundred families who saw most of the damage due to the thick wooded areas. Tim and Amanda, can you remember the last time Fifth Avenue was actually completely shut down here just past 24th Street? We have another truck going to attempt to drive through this high water. Very dangerous. This will be the third truck we've seen in the last half hour. There's nothing you could do in this sort of situation to kind of keep yourself afloat. We stopped in at the car lot along McCorkle Avenue trying to track down Mr. V, but just like Shane and Tim experienced, he wasn't around. Looking for Mr. V.
He's not it.
For the Salvation Army flood buckets. Now, these are free to the community. Anyone who's been impacted by flooding, you can come by and get one of these. Inside, we've got all sorts of cleaning supplies. Water was quickly approaching their establishments, having to rush in, bring boxes, and start packing up and moving their stuff to get it out of the water, which has been moving rapidly over the last several hours.
When you buy a car, you expect it to get you where you need to go, trusting that it will be reliable for several years to come. And that's what more than a dozen people thought that they were getting when they spent thousands of dollars at a car lot in Kanawha City, only to find out there were some major problems they did not know about. As News Channel 3's Kelsey Soto explains, a lawsuit has now been filed for these victims that they feel they've been taken for a ride.
It would have collapsed and it would have killed me.
As a disabled Army veteran, Shane Hammock is no stranger to danger.
When I found that out, it was sickening.
Shane needed some wheels, so in October 2019, he bought a used vehicle from Mr. V & Sons in Kanawha City.
I take pride in now trying to maintain my equipment as I did in the military.
Putting about $4,000 into that vehicle. But when inspection time came, so did the ultimate sticker shock. 14 inches of rust under the driver's seat and a frame so severely damaged it could never pass an inspection.
And now all I have is a lawn ornament.
It can be frustrating at times.
West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey says it's not the first complaint his office has gotten about the auto company. In fact, 19 formal complaints have been filed since 2014.
Documents not being provided or defective cars where we think that the owner didn't live up to its own obligations under the law, selling things for as-is before the as-is law passed. There are a number of areas where we think that there can and need to be corrected because otherwise the consumer holds the bag.
Now he's filed a civil suit against the business, representing 11 victims so far, seeking restitution and other penalties.
This is the first I heard of the lawsuit, though. I'm happy about that.
Including Tim Hudson, who wasn't even aware he was named in the court filings until we told him.
There's leakage and rust.
He commutes to Huntington each day and was in desperate need of a reliable ride.
I don't expect to get it for free, and I don't expect it to be perfect, but I do expect it to be safe.
When he started noticing problems, he took this Nissan Altima in to be looked at and learned of a wide range of mechanical issues, despite an active registration sticker. Problems included faulty brakes, improper welding, and other safety hazards.
You've put my family in jeopardy. You've put me in a financial, crunch.
He took the car to the West Virginia State Police garage in South Charleston. That's where investigators found aluminum foil and other tape holding the foil onto the exhaust pipe, police calling it a fire hazard.
The entire exhaust fell out of it.
That led authorities to tracking down the garage who had been signing off on the inspections that Mr. V had taken this and many other vehicles to and suspending their license.
Hopefully they get it resolved before they sell a tragedy to someone else's family.
He too is an Army veteran and tells me he understands the weight and responsibility of getting behind the wheel of a 2,000-pound missile.
I think the most frustrating part is my family,
We stopped in at the car lot along McCorkle Avenue trying to track down Mr. V, but just like Shane and Tim experienced, he wasn't around. Looking for Mr. V.
He's not it.
Okay, can I leave my card then? These servicemen feel like they've been taken for a ride.
If that's your slogan, honesty meets value, be honest with your customers.
Hoping these legal proceedings will be the very last bump in the road.
What's going to happen when somebody actually dies from a vehicle that's been sold that should never have been sold?
Kelsey Soto, WSAZ, News Channel 3, Kanawha City.